Hey everyone, Charlie here. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to episode 20 of One Cuppa. Hesitate to call it season 2, but doesn't sound like anything. It feels like something of a new beginning. I don't know why. So it is Saturday night here. I think it's March 25th. Just leaving 7-Eleven. Just came here to get our cuppa, which is like basically the sort of cheap Asahi 7-Eleven brand of Strong Zero. It's 3% weaker, only 6% alcohol, but it's like quite a bit cheaper too, and I'm looking to save money at the moment, even just a little bit for various reasons. So yeah, I'm really excited to do a One Cuppa at this time of night, or this time of day I should say, because I rarely, if ever, do them any other time, but sort of first thing in the morning when I get up on Sundays. But sort of want to show you a different look to the area here. And yeah, I'm just feeling like getting it out of the way because tomorrow, for reasons I will explain, I really just need to like not do anything. So this used to be a yoga studio, which is too bad because I would love to take up yoga again now that I'm here. But anyhow, so like I said, I've just left work, and today was a day much like any other, maybe a little bit better as far as Saturdays go. Saturdays are really busy for me. I have from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock 7 classes, which, particularly for it being like the last day of the week where you're already sort of worn down a little bit, it just can be really tough. But today was a really nice, overall really nice day. But related to this is that I had thought that I'd long since given up this notion of what should I say? Sort of saying like Japanese people are this, Japanese people are that, right? So which is why when I talk about dating here, I will say things like Japanese people are just like anybody else, right? And that's just as far as dating goes. In general, or not in general, really, I think the only thing you can actually say in regards to Japanese people and have it actually be accurate in any regard is that there's just like a family hanging out the window being like, the hell's this guy doing? The only thing that you can actually say Japanese people are is that they are just like everybody else, meaning that they are varied and broken and perfect in all these different ways, right? So no, the reason why I bring that up is because I today realized that I have held on to this notion that Japan is like, Japanese people I should say, like their work ethic is this sort of infallible, perfect thing that no one ever falters from, right? That everyone every day just wants to go to work and support themselves and support their family and pursue their dreams, right? And I don't even think I consciously knew that I was thinking that way. So just to give you guys an idea of the area that I'm in right now as the sun goes down. Kind of very residential, right? And that's where we're going to there. I don't know if the sun will still be going now when we get over there, but that's the idea. It should be beautiful. The sun sets down here, just amazing, because we'll pass like this super busy area where there are some bars and yakitori shops and stuff like that, but then it's just all tambo, rice fields, and a stretch of mountains over there. So it's really gorgeous. I hope we make it on time. Now, as I said, these are not feelings that I consciously knew I had, but basically what happened today is that there's this teacher who just rather regularly has just started like either not showing up, or if they decide and they never let us know, or they'll just let us know a few minutes before, and it's really bad because it puts not so much me, because my classes are sort of insular, or they stand alone, whereas the Japanese teachers' classes, like they're, they have to handle their own thing, I handle my own thing. So, when they suddenly call and say, hey, we're not going to come in like 10 minutes before, or worse, they send an email that nobody checks for till it's half hour after the fact, then our school is really screwed, you know, and it makes us look really bad to our students and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you this bamboo grove as I talk, because it's infinitely more interesting to me, particularly in the dying light of day. And so yeah, you know, I realized like, well, that is not only super rude and it pisses me off, but I was like, you know, I guess I always thought that, like I said, that in this way, there you go, you can see a little bit of the sunset off there through the trees. Gorgeous, I love it here. Love it, love it, love it. This to my right here is the, I don't know, I failed to read didn't bother checking to see which subsection of the city we're in here, town we're in. But yeah, this is the community center here. But yeah, I guess I immediately thought, I was like, well, Japanese people are never late. Japanese people never screw their employers, right? Like, it's always the opposite. Like, they're always there early and staying late and all these other things, right? Like, so I guess suffice it to say that I was made, yeah, we're gonna cut through here so I can show you guys before it goes down, that, you know, I was made to understand my own stereotyping and my own, basically it was just putting an entire civilization's worth of people on a pedestal, which irks me because, like I said, it's something I thought I had stopped doing, but then again, to err is human, and I am at least partially human. So, trying to think about now as I have you on camera live, look at this amazing old house. Again, this one seems to have been renovated and made more modern. Konbanwa. But actually, I know you architecture nerds out there, particularly East Asian architecture nerds, are going to love this street here, as I do, because it does have these old, updated houses. But I guess that can be said for so many places that we've walked on this show before. So yeah, I'm trying to think about what other sort of misconceptions that I know rationally to be incorrect and silly that I still hold, but nothing is coming to mind. So stay tuned for further episodes when I realize my idiocy in real time. Now, let's show you this house over here. Assuming this old lady is not going to be in the shot and I'm going to make her feel uncomfortable. Yeah, this is just a really old looking estate here. Absolutely gorgeous. With a really big garden and stuff like that in it. So gorgeous. But this last week, this past Thursday, and I'd said a little bit about it on Twitter, but I had to go to the hospital. And I should point out immediately that if I were back home in America, I wouldn't have gone to the hospital. Would have called into work and been like, yo, I'm sick. And they would have been like, well, are you sure you can't come in? And I would have been like, yeah, man, not happening. I would have crawled in my bed and I would have slept for a day, you know, with intermittent breaks for watching crap television and drinking some soup. And that would have been it. The next day I probably would have been fine. But here, now again, I've only worked as a teacher, so I can't say how far this extends beyond that particular discipline. But yeah, here it's like, okay, you gotta notify the school like a couple hours ahead of time, which isn't always possible because like on that day it was like an hour before class and I was like, you know, suddenly. Oh my god. Look at this. Now the trick is getting across this really busy inter-prefectural, which I guess you could just call it a national highway. It's an old national highway. It's not really used as such anymore, but still very busy to get over there. But yeah, so I have to notify them like super ahead of time. Super ahead of time. And then it's never just okay, well, you're sick, stay at home. That happened one time when my school was like a half of its size. And they're like, okay, you have one class today. Don't worry about it, we'll just reschedule the classes. But on this particular day, I had 6 classes I had to teach. Right, so I called them, they're like, okay, well, we gotta get you to the hospital, you know, and all this stuff. And I talked about it before, like the reaction to the idea of you having the flu here is pretty extreme. But yeah, so I call them, we go to the hospital, and like, I'm telling the doctor all these things in front of my manager who's there just in case I can't tell the doctor everything properly, which this time went really well, by the way. Despite my forgetting the kanji for naka / chu / in / middle last week, which really pissed me off / made me feel embarrassed after the fact, but anyhow. We're gonna hit the button, hold up traffic for one chunky gaijin. What can you do? And get across the street. And you know, so we go there and I'm telling the doctor my symptoms. Right, I'm like, well, the world's been spinning around, like everything's been spinning for 6 hours. I don't think I'm really dehydrated. You know, my morning was normal, last night was normal, like that kind of thing, you know. I ran this morning, whatever, good things are completely normal. And then he's like, well, what kind of workload have you been under? And I'm like, well, my normal work hours for work, for the school, I teach 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Don't teach, but you know, I work for that amount. And then I'm telling him about all the other projects I'm doing, you know. And he's like, well, seems like you just gotta learn to, you just need to take it easy for a while, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna turn this away because my face is nowhere near as interesting as this is out here. God damn, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let me get out there, I'll show you. Start to see these mountains out to the right. So yeah, so he's like, you know, it just sounds like basically what it was is like, oh yeah, it sounds like you're exhausted. And I'm like, well, yeah, man, I guess I have been doing a lot, and I've been on low sleep for the past couple of weeks and things like that, and whatever, not really taking care of myself. Something I knew, right? But yeah, he's like, all right, well, what kind of things you got to do today? And of course, my manager and I are like, well, I've got a bunch of classes, and you know, got a bunch of classes. So out here, anyway. Sorry, get over here and out of the way. There's a very large solar farm. It's out here in the middle of the rice field, which the rice fields here, by the way, are disappearing. It's really, really sad. There's Tayo Pachinko place over there. And yeah, this view is just amazing. But yeah, so we tell him, like, yeah, buddy, got some classes for a while. And I'm like, I really think I don't even need to be here. I just need to sleep. And it was almost as if there was like this immediate sort of understanding between my manager and the doctor when she was like, well, yeah, but he has classes from 4. So the guy's like, all right, well, I'm gonna give you the tenteki, which I didn't know what that meant at the time, but basically they put me on a fluid drip, which was basically a saline solution with vitamin B complex inside of it. Vitamin B, of course, is to bring your energy up, make you feel a little less like death. The saline solution is, or fluids in general, are what you give people when they're dehydrated, which was the prevailing idea, even though for various reasons I realized I wasn't dehydrated. It doesn't matter, right? It's kind of besides the point. So they put me on this drip for an hour. My manager has to sit with me for an hour. She doesn't have to, but you know, duty bound, honor bound here to do it. And so I get up, I leave, I don't really feel any better. They give me a prescription. And I go back to work, right? And it just really drives home this point, which is again a stereotype, but like this idea that you will work yourself to death sometimes. But that said, my manager after the fact was like, hey, listen, you are I've never seen you like this, because I've been sick before, like with colds and whatever, and I always go to work. I've only missed one day since in the year year and 4 months I've been teaching. And she's like, yeah, so what can I do for you? Can't send you home, we can't cancel all of these classes type thing, but like, you know, I'm gonna fall into this tombow eventually. Might as well show you the goods while we're out here, eh? See what I'm saying? Ooh. Wonder who that person was. So she beeped at me, by the way, to say thank you. She did as she nodded. She's a lady who owns the noodle shop over in the mall. Anyway, so yeah, she was like, you know, what can I do for you? And I was like, well, there are a couple of these classes, they really aren't too bad. Like, I need to put on like an air of energy, but I can get through a couple. But basically I had her cancel the classes with my toddlers, where pretty much the entire time there's never any sitting down. And when I tell you like the world was spinning, like, I'm not shitting you. Like, if you saw my Snapchat yesterday where I was just basically doing this because I was bored, like but the world was doing it, my legs weren't doing it type thing, you know? So I would have like fallen on top of them and killed them by accident with my ginormous belly bulge. And so yeah, it was just this thing. But like I say, it sort of drives home a point that, yeah. Though, I spilled on my face, I'm such a slob. Though, I will say to you after the fact, the response to this, and this is something for those of you out there who want to come here to teach, the response to your being sick will vary. This was actually a pretty good response, I think, having talked to some other people. Like some of the other vloggers I'm connected with, I know when they've had to take days off because they were sick, they have to pay a lot of money. God damn, this is gorgeous. I know I keep saying that, but look at that. You know, let's get past this guy so we're not showing him on video. And that's back towards home over there. We're about 35-minute walk from here back home. And yeah, so like, talk to these people, and you know, first they get like shit because they called in sick, and then they have to pay. They either lose a day's pay. Well, of course they lose a day's pay, and a lot of times you also have to pay the salary of the person who came in to cover your shift, your classes for the day, right? That seems to be a lot more common structure for the big companies. Particularly, I work for a pretty big company, but I'm a franchise school. We're a very small, owned by a very small like business type thing, as I've talked about before. So nobody comes to cover us. If I'm sick, that's it. Everything falls to hell. And that's the problem, right? That's the problem. That's why we couldn't cancel classes on Thursday, because it would have been like, had we had a backup teacher like some of these bigger schools, like one of the huge schools that belongs to my company in Tokyo, would have been nothing. The backup teacher would have been like, cool man, I got you. Go home, you're fine. And they wouldn't have taken any pay. My company never takes my pay away. Like, it didn't affect my pay that half my day on Thursday went to being at the hospital and that I canceled the class. That doesn't matter. They're never gonna take away my pay because they're actually really, really decent people at this place. But they have a high expectation for you working too, which is fine, you know. But yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm kind of done this one to death. Here's community center. I come over here and do Iaido occasionally when time permits. I wonder if I can get out of here through the bushes. But yeah, so it's just been I guess a really interesting past couple of days for sort of really coming to understand what my own stereotypes are still, for even having lived here, well, to be honest, it's still relatively quite a short period of time. Can't even shimmy across. Relatively short period of time, you know. I'll take you guys through the shopping district up here. Not shopping, but kind of what a Sabae's. Welcome to Sabae's, everybody. Sabae is busier areas here. Before we head back through, how we doing? Is this thing on? Battery's good? Okay. So yeah, it's been interesting, but part of the reason, as I mentioned, why I'm not shooting this tomorrow is that tomorrow I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna sleep in without an alarm. I'm gonna Well, I'll probably at least script a video, but it doesn't take much energy to script a video. Or I mean, to move your fingers and write things, I guess, mostly. But, yeah, because if I just can't. Like, I canceled, ooh, look at how beautiful. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think these might be Nanohana. Nanohana batake ni iri yusure. Throwback to the Enka video back in the day, right? But anyhow, yeah, so Sunday is just gonna be, I'm probably gonna see if my friends want to play Diablo 3 for a while. And it seems like an okay day, but I just really, some of you have said, particularly my partner on my creative channel, not that this channel is necessarily uncreative, Wikipedia once alluded to the fact that maybe I kind of overdo it with personal projects. Attaching those to work, clearly that is the case. So Sunday's going to be a bit of a recharge, a relax, and go from there type thing. And there's this guy ahead of me who just like, I think he's just blitzed out of his face. But now I'm like walking a tenth of my natural walking speed. So let's show you some things. Here is Akiyoshi over across the street. And this is my absolute, I mean, it's a chain, but it's relatively cheap, and it's my favorite yakitori shop to go to. Good atmosphere, really good people, they're always good to me there. And the chicken guts, man, the chicken stomach over there, delicious. Delicious, delicious. Over here is a yellow hat, which is kind of, if you've ever seen their commercials, they're super freaking creepy. I'm gonna let this guy get ahead of me for a while because it's driving me nuts. The drunken walking speed is just annoying as shit. The yellow hat commercials are super creepy. Over here we have a brand new like meat store. Tomorrow I'm gonna go and, not tomorrow, but during the week, I go over there and get some sausages because I was supposed to tomorrow have my friends over and we were gonna do like bangers and mash for like a late St. Patty's Day celebration type thing. But yeah, and this is where I get my hair cut. Up there is a Sukiya, which by the way, if you're like wandering around Japan, like you're backpacking or something, last time I was backpacking I really hadn't had much experience with places like Sukiya or Yoshinoya. But yeah, if you're looking for a really, really cheap breakfast or really cheap lunch, you go to a Sukiya, man. You can get like a full-on breakfast teishoku, like a set meal, for like 400 yen, which is about $3.50. It's such an awesome deal. Such an awesome deal. Same thing can be said about lunch. You can get a big gyudon, which is a rice and beef bowl, for like 510 yen, 610 yen if you want kimchi in it. Fucking amazing. Amazing. Check it out. There it is. Looks delish, no? Looks delish. And here, oh, people are really interested. What is that guy's into it? Alright, now, for those of you who are aware of my more recent antics, over here, across the street, is the snack bar that I was sort of duped into the other weekend. And oh, this is something I really need to talk about. It's just because we shouldn't be like on rambly topics the entire time. This guy's starting to get suspicious. Like look back at me and mutter things to himself, kind of suspicious. So we're gonna go through the parking lot. As much as I want to get in a fist fight with a drunkard, this seems like something I should not aspire to. So the snack bar. I did a Periscope about this, but never made a video, though I had meant to. So basically, it must have been 2 weeks ago now. I was at the izakaya, you know, and I was just getting drunk with like a friend that I had made there before. This sort of like salaryman type. And so this is Valor. It's just kind of like a drugstore slash grocery store combination over here. And yeah, so I was just getting drunk with this guy, and I was like, hey, listen, man, we should totally go and do some karaoke. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm down for karaoke. Like, let's go and let's go to karaoke after this. Just let's have another drink, Here, I'll pour you some shochu and then we'll go. So like, yeah, no problem. Now, while this is happening, the guy who I've mentioned many times, the master of this izakaya, keeps mentioning a zoo, right? Keeps saying Dobutsuen, Dobutsuen, Dobutsuen. Do you want to go to the Dobutsuen? And I was like, I mean, there is like a small viewing slash petting zoo over at like the big local park. I guess we could go there sometime. So I didn't really put that together, right? So anyway, long story short, later I leave with my friend, and we're pretty well gone at that point, and he's like, all right, we're going to karaoke. And then we walk into this super wide open bar, and where a couple of women immediately come to our side and are like, oh hey, what's up, you know? And it was a really uncomfortable experience because they were like leaning over to sniff me, be like, oh, you smell so good. And of course it's bullshit. Well, it's not bullshit. I do smell pretty damn good, if we're being honest. It's something I work towards. but anyway, you know. And it was the same thing with karaoke. Like, oh, you sing karaoke so well. Like, yeah, maybe. Ooh, illegal. Okay, popos, don't watch my videos. You know, and it's just such this weird, like, paying for people to tell me I'm beautiful type of experience, and Jesus, never again, or so I thought. But then I accidentally went to one a couple days later. Not the point. So anyway, I learned after the fact that I had actually been told about this. Hey, look, it's a sunkiss. The sort of red-headed stepchild, sorry Jake Knowlton, of the Japanese convenience store chains. So now we're leaving the downtown area, and we're probably gonna have to finish this up pretty soon because I don't know how well this camera performs in low light, though we're clearly gonna find out here. But yeah, it turns out that here's a cute little park. Also part of like a community center, though this is more of like a for older people. Not older as in like, hey, where are my teeth at? But like teenagers, young 20-somethings. It's called like a connection, like in like socially connected park type thing. And yeah, I had been warned about this place. Apparently when the master, my friend, kept calling it a zoo. Kept saying zoo, you want to go to the zoo? And apparently it's a colloquialism for these snack bars where you go and pay women to, right? The implication being that you're going to pay a lot of money, which by the way, 2 hours at this place was, I think it was almost 14,000 yen. That's $120, I want to say $115, which I didn't pay any of, which is cool. But it's disgusting, by the way. That's how I felt when I realized what had happened. It's just like, that's fucking gross. Sorry for the language, all you children who watch this video. But yeah, so anyhow, in the interest of not making this another 45-minute cuppa, wow, and I'll tell you what, I haven't eaten anything since like 12:30. It's now probably 7 o'clock. Oh my god. So beautiful. Maybe the exhaustion or the fact that I'm a little buzzed, or it could be that nature in general sort of gets me in a way few things do. But I teared up a little bit when I looked over there. It's beautiful. But yeah. So things ahead. And I feel like I've said this many times, so I'd understand if you're taking this with a grain of salt. But what the Fukui, which had like one episode, which we can just sort of call a pilot, that took a really long time to be picked up to series, will be back. But I need your opinion on how it's released. Right now, I've been shooting segments for them, right? In sort of like an episodic format. And probably what'll be done is they're gonna be a little bit longer, probably 15-minute videos, which compared to these, of course, is nothing, right? But okay, there's a nursery school over here. Let's film this way. Which compared to these videos is nothing, but I'm wondering whether I should release them sort of Netflix style, like so people can watch these 5 to 6 episodes of What the Fukui, like binge watch them if they so desire, or if I should do 2 per week for like 3 weeks, or if I should just sort of let them out 1 episode at a time, you know? So I'd really appreciate your feedback, but I have been filming them, particularly now that I can. Here's just some early, these might be cherry blossoms actually, because most of the plum blossoms around here have bloomed and the tree looks like it's more of a cherry variety. But yeah, I have been filming them, and as I say, I now have my previous editing software didn't allow me to put out anything over 720p, which of course was bothersome and affected the quality of the videos. But now I can put out in at least 1080, at least until I get a new camera, and then I can start thinking about doing 4K stuff. But as for now, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that now I have the ability to put out in higher quality because of the audio hardware. Now here, these appear to be, yeah, these, I don't know guys, are these early cherry blossoms? The color suggests they may be, though I may be completely wrong, and I should point out I've only ever seen 1 cherry blossom season since I've made the move. So anyhow, let me know. What I'm trying to say in all this is that I would like you to let me know how you guys think it would be best to release the series. And I'm really, really excited to release it because it's not, in many ways it's a lot like it was, right? In that pilot, like, I really do just want to show off things to you from my neck of the woods. Restaurants, landmarks, sightseeing opportunities, things like that, right? But I also, this time, trying, and I'm not successful in every case, but trying to do some interviews with the people who run these places, and sort of add that layer to it. So I'm very, very excited about it, but I don't want it just to be another, like, I'm walking around, here's the thing where I'm walking around. Not to say there's anything wrong with those videos, also known as exactly what one Cuppa is in super long format, but I want it to be more of a kind of like a travel show type thing. So anyway, let's get up on the main street here, one of the main streets, the one my school is on, and we'll finish up our Cuppa, our can-a, after I show you a couple things. So down here, just down there, is this really terrible men's clothing wear shop, which suggests that men in their 20s should dress like men who need walkers, which maybe that's ageist. I mean, that's more than a little ageist, isn't it? Here's a cleaning shop slash tiny food store. Over here is yet another fruit store. We've got, let's see, shokuhin and fruits. Yamamoto. Basically, it's just a Fudo Yamamoto, right? It's a little food shop. Now, I can't say for certain, though when I was living in Nagoya, I think it was the same way, but in addition to convenience stores, there are always like a ton of local like mom and pop food stores like that, which are kind of like just privately owned, well obviously all are privately owned, but sort of family owned convenience stores, right? Where you can go and you meet some really cool people and things like that. And up that way is one of the middle schools where a lot of our students come from. You can't see it, that's why I'm filming it. And my school's up that way. And then over here across the street, which I'll show you in a minute if this light doesn't take a fucking decade, is a really good okonomiyaki shop. Can I cross? Let me cross, let me cross, let me cross. Okay, here we go. How we doing? I'm battery. I'm battery, as the old people say. Battery. Alright, I really hope the video is not too bad on this. The lighting is not great now. I see you, cat. I wish you let me pet you, but I know you're feral and you won't. This is Boteju. Little okonomiyaki shop, freaking delicious. Again, these little mom and pop shops. We don't have, I mean, we do have some chains here, but most of the restaurants you find in Sabae are like, yeah, There are things that they're privately owned. I keep saying that like it means something else, but the last thing I want to show you, you wouldn't think it, right? But there's a ryokan here in Sabae. Now, if you're thinking, who wants to come to Sabae and stay in a ryokan and not like one of the crappy hotels that's around Sabae Station, I don't know. But I think probably I'm gonna come and stay here some night, just on a night, like a weekend. I can't really get out of town, but I want to have like a little bit different of a night experience. Right here, Shinmei Ryokan here in Sabae. So, on that note, as we near the crossroads up here, hopefully with some more decent light than we had. I really hope the lighting's not too bad and I don't have to do too much with lighting and stuff in post. But yeah guys, this is where I'll end it. Thank you as always for watching. This has been episode 20 of One Cuppa. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, which I may ameliorate, whether or not they have anything to do with the topics we talked about in this episode, please of course share them down in the comment section below. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you for supporting Charlie no Seikatsu and the Burrow, the creative channel I run with Wikipedia, if in fact you are a supporter over there. And here comes the choo-choo, and I'll see you very soon indeed. Cheers. Shut up, crow. And yes, I am still here. Accosting animals verbally, which is not a nice thing to do. But this might as well be kind of a cool... What's up?